Coming up on this edition of Southwest TV News. Environment Canada is calling for mild conditions through the coming weeks in this long-term weather outlook. Signs of spring are everywhere, and for the Swift Current SPCA, the change in season is the start of an increased flow of cats into the shelter. The freeze and thaw cycle throughout the winter and spring season wreaks havoc on the roadway, bringing frustration not only to motorists, but extra work for city crews. Thanks for joining us here today. Environment Canada is calling for milder than normal temperatures here in southwest Saskatchewan throughout the month of May. We have more in today's top story. Over the past several weeks, southwest Saskatchewan has seen a mix of snow, rain, and mild conditions as we make our way through the first part of spring. Now, as we approach the end of April, Environment Canada is calling for mild conditions through the coming weeks in this long-term weather outlook.
We see temperatures that are, in fact, normal to warmer than normal, and we see that even as we look into April, May. We see for most of Saskatchewan warmer than normal. This is not going to be as warm a spring as you had last year, because last year was a record warm spring. On the prairies, March, April, May came out to be the warmest in 70 years. Well, you never bet records in my business, so my sense is that this one will be maybe warmer than normal, but not nearly as mild as what we saw last year. But there will be a chance for the soil to warm up and farmers to get out and onto their fields.
And as the daylight hours continue to expand in the coming weeks, we can expect daytime highs in the 15-degree range, with overnight lows around +1. For over 12 years, Southwest TV News has provided the visuals for the defining moments in our community. Support your community and help us to continue our work. Support our sponsors by watching the ads on YouTube and by clicking the ads on our website. Pennies per click, which will help us continue to bring you the award-winning news coverage you've come to expect from Southwest TV News. The importance of spaying or neutering your pets is an ongoing message from the Swift Current SPCA. We have more in this report. Signs of spring are everywhere, and for the Swift Current SPCA, the change in season is the start of an increased flow of cats into the shelter, with upwards of 200 kittens and cats surrendered here each year, bringing not only a concern for space, but also for the health of other pets already at the facility.
As you can see in the front here, we've got cats everywhere, and if somebody just kind of walks in with a stray cat, it might not be a healthy cat, and then we could be dealing with a disease outbreak, or even such a thing as just a parasite outbreak could occur. And we might not have space for it at the time. So we do like a little heads up. We can sometimes utilize our fosters for that as well. But always heads up is nice. So.
Topham adds that with the limited space at the shelter, you're asked to please try and find the cat's owner first before contacting the SPCA.
A lot of unwanted kittens are about in the spring, and we try to prevent that by spaying and neutering all of our pets that leave here, as well as encouraging people, if they have stray animals, to try and find maybe where they came from first, or talk to us about bringing them in, and then we can get them looked after as well.
For more information on pet adoptions or donations to the Swift Current SPCA, contact their office directly during regular business hours. Market Square is a summer tradition in downtown Swift Current, and organizers are now searching for entertainers, food vendors, and artisans to be part of the excitement for the upcoming season. Contact Marlene today at 750-7888 and spend your Saturdays in downtown Swift Current this summer. Market Square, Proudly presented by the City of Swift Current, Standard Motors, Innovation Credit Union, and Southwest TV News. Annual street repairs are well underway in the City of Swift Current as crews deal with potholes. It's an annual occurrence on city streets, potholes. The freeze and thaw cycle throughout the winter and spring season wreaks havoc on the roadway, bringing frustration not only to motorists, but extra work for city crews.
Absolutely. We've been out patching potholes for a while already. Right now we're just doing sort of temporary patching. Most of it with cold mix. It's too cold and wet yet to do any permanent patching. So just cold mix asphalt, which is just leftover asphalt from last year's programs. We have our own little pothole patching machine, but it's too cool for us to get that one out yet. And then for our permanent patching and repair program, we need the paving contractors to get fired up and get their asphalt plant fired up, so we have hot mix there. And that probably won't be till towards the end of April.
And as crews address the many potholes around the city, the grit and sand will continue to accumulate on neighborhood streets before the annual street sweepers begin their schedule.
It's a ways off yet. Yeah, street sweeping. We need warmer weather to do the street sweeping, and unfortunately, we may get a little snow yet before the season's over. So don't want to get out there too soon, clean it off, and then be sanding again. So yeah, it'll usually we like to start the street sweeping program around the beginning of May. And so that'll be probably when we get going, and maybe a little bit earlier in the downtown business district, and then around the beginning of May for a regular residential program.
The City of Swift Current welcomes your feedback on potholes in the community, with calls accepted by telephone or through the city's website.
Henry Richard, Provo, Russo, all those guys that had played.
He faced off against Rocket Richard.
Rocket Richard, he was the referee for the game.
Our line scored a goal. It was just boom. It was loud.
Yeah, it was a lot of good times.
Well, this brings to a close another episode of Southwest TV News, reporting the stories that matter to you. We always welcome your news tips. You can always reach us here by phone at our studio or by email to contact us at southwesttvnews.com. Also, be sure to join us daily online for the latest news from across Southwest Saskatchewan and so much more at southwesttvnews.com. And be sure to follow us on a range of social media. Thanks for joining us here today. I'm Carol Andrews.